We're going to talk about the case involving Soering, who is an individual who was convicted of murder back in 1985. There was an attempt to perhaps transfer him to Germany by Governor Tim Kaine that was put back by Governor Bob McDonnell and my next guest, Attorney General Ken Cuccinelli, who's here to talk to me today about some very important developments in this case. Now, obviously, yesterday, the Richmond Circuit Court ruled that Governor McDonnell's attempt to revoke this transfer was legal. Right. There's still another attempt for Soering to move forward. But in the combing through of your documents, you've discovered something that you believe, and the Kaine campaign vehemently denies this, connects Governor Kaine to the Soering case prior to the time he became governor. Explain what you think you found.
Yeah, the murder was in 1985, and he and his co-conspirator Elizabeth Haysom fled to Europe. And in the attempt to extradite them back to Virginia, Jen Soering resisted that, and he submitted a number of pieces of evidence to the European Court of Human Rights, again trying to fight extradition. And one of those was an affidavit from Tim Kaine in 1988, where Tim Kaine described in less than flattering terms, not anything overly done, but less than flattering terms, the American justice system, particularly as it relates to potential death penalty cases and death row.
Now, but there isn't anything in this that specifically links Kaine to Soering. How would you respond to those claims? That you've already admitted that this document has no material purpose in support of Soering. In fact, his campaign tells us that it was from a completely separate affidavit to release these documents. It was part of the public record.
Well, the Circuit Court of Richmond, of course, upheld the governor's.
Is that a plausible theory?
We have two governors. It's a plausible theory. It's pretty unusual when you're putting a motion together to use Soering over materials as factual material, and this was submitted as a factual piece of evidence in support of Jen Soering's motion before the European Court to not have even spoken to the witness, just pull it from another file or something. And there's no indication in the Soering motion that that's what happened. That if they did that, then lawyers for Soering over there didn't identify that to the court.
Now, your political opponents today have been saying that this is nothing more than an attempt by you to insert the Soering case into what is already a heated political campaign. Of course, Governor Kaine on the ballot in the fall. There's already plans to use ads that will use the Soering case as a way to hit Governor Kaine on. How would you respond to those claims? That you've already admitted that this document has no material purpose in the process, even if Soering decides to appeal this decision. Why the decision to release these documents to the press today?
Well, the Circuit Court of Richmond, of course, upheld the Governor McDonnell, we have two governors here, Governor McDonnell's revocation of Governor Kaine's attempt to transfer Soering over to Germany. And he'd be out today if that had happened. He'd be on the streets in Germany today.
There were a certain set of circumstances. That's not
no. He's already. Right now today, he's served more time than anybody in Germany serves for this offense. Right. We're quite confident he'd have been out in 2 to 2.5 years then, which means by now. And they presumably, in the Kaine governor's office, went through some screening process for Soering. They didn't just randomly seek to transfer him. And remember, this was literally days before he was headed out the door. And we only discovered it the day before I was sworn in, started working on some options for incoming Governor McDonnell, and he, in fact, executed the revocation. So, they've got some more explaining to do, in my view. These are documents we didn't discover until today. The Attorney General's office 24 years ago, then under Mary Sue Terry, was involved in the extradition attempt for Jen Soering so we could bring him to justice. I mean, this was a brutal double murder. And it's not like Jen Soering is a new matter for this race. Tim Kaine still has not adequately explained why on earth he would try to send a double murder to Germany where he'd be free today.
But finally, let me just reiterate this point. You do think that it is plausible that this document created by Kaine for a different case could have been inserted into this package of affidavit documents without Kaine's knowledge at all, and this, as his campaign says, is the first he's ever hearing it. That's a plausible theory.
On the front side, it's plausible. It strikes me as far less plausible on the backside. And by the backside, I mean when they had to go through some work and make a decision whether to transfer this guy or not. Are you telling me that during that period of time, presumably someone was communicating with Soering and he was communicating back that never was uncovered? And if it was, he has not shared that with the people of Virginia up to this point.
Okay, all right. Attorney General Ken Cuccinelli, we appreciate your time, sir.
Always a pleasure.
And we're obviously going to get Governor Kaine's perspective on this as well. Thank you for being here, sir.